Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video, let's take a look at the differences between blur and the defocus nodes. So I have set them up in a way so that they only affect the BG in this case. The stadium, the baseball will remain the same. You're only going to see the change on the stadium. So let's start with the blur node, and if I start cranking it up, pay attention to what happens at the background, especially on these little tiny light sources, right? Now moving on to the defocus node to the right, if I start cranking it up, there. You see we get this nice little bokeh effect. That's something that you cannot achieve with the blur node, and that's what makes them different. Blur node, what it's actually doing is a very simple process. Nuke is taking pixels on your screen and mixing them with one another. It's a very basic operation, very simple operation, super light on your machine. It's not resource hungry. However, the defocus node also kind of does and act like a blur node, but what makes it different is that it mimics the characteristics of a camera lens, thus giving you this bokeh effect. And to take things a step further, what you can do is you can come down to the scaling property, hit on this button that says 2 to split it into width and height, and then if you start cranking up the height, you can see you can make the defocus node look more like an anamorphic lens, and that is something I cannot do here. I mean, I can try. Let's see what happens if I start cranking up the height for the blur node. So we are getting this stretched look over here too, just like the defocus, but it's not as sharp and as interesting and realistic as the defocus node. And that's what makes them different. Keep in mind, defocus is very heavy on your machine. It takes some time to process. It's not as effective and as fast as the blur node. So that's something you'll have to keep in mind while you're working on your shots. And just be mindful that when you have a bunch of defocus running in your script, it's always a good idea to make pre-comps, render out stuff as much as you can, because it's gonna slow your machine down. So this was a little demonstration to show you the visual differences between both the nodes. If you find this video helpful, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.